love the madness at 9 a.m. Yeah, it's great. And we pulled it together, we thought quickly, and here we are. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Janann Hashem. I'm a trustee and a morning MC.
I'm Katie.
And we're going to go ahead and begin by asking and inviting our indigenous grandmothers to come up to offer a prayer. They will be prayer givers from various faiths. Please have a seat, relax. If you had the coffee, good. If not, even better. Grandmothers.
Creator, it is with a humble heart, with a humble mind, with a humble spirit that we approach you this day. Our hope for this day is that we will all be students of one another and that we will all be teachers of one another, that we will embrace the hearts of all and always to remember that we do this in honor of our children, of our grandchildren, that we protect everything that we have, from the north, the air, from the east, the sun, from the south, the earth, and from the west, the water. We ask that you be in it and around us, that we always may remember who we are, and that we may always treat everybody as if we were them and they were us. With great humility, we ask that you guide us through this day. Esquali Guna.
Bonjour. It's an honor because not only you see the faces of my sisters. We see out in this sea of faces many nations, because each one that's born into this world is responsible for all. The ones that were at the water ceremony and what is happening today is long overdue. As we sit here, we are sitting on our brothers and sisters' territories, the Ute and so on, the caretakers of Turtle Island, and we have visitors. So it's been an honor, as many times when somebody walks into somebody's house, this message has been forgotten. And now, today, it is changed. This is part of the prophecies. It's just not the prophecies of the indigenous of Turtle Island. It's the prophecies of all ancestors that walked Mother Earth. There is no fine line between any of us because we stay in those four elements: fire, water, air, and food. We come together as equals. We come together as the we, Chimikwich.
So you can look to the person to your right and left and maybe even take a hand. Feel our feet on this living earth. Feel her heartbeat. And speaking for the whole of us, for the we. Towards the one that is the perfection of love, of harmony, of beauty, that which is the only being, united with all of us, who form the embodiment of that we. We turn towards the Spirit, that Spirit of guidance that leads us in the right direction. And we invoke the great prophets who have walked this earth, the great masters, those who have held the medicine of truth. And from here we begin.
Good morning. I will begin with a song from our land, Aotearoa, New Zealand. And the first part is, there's an infinite love, our inherent right. There's hope and faith, and with all that as a combination, there brings peace. And the end of the song talks about there's nobody misses out. Everybody's equal. Everybody has this right. So those who know the song can join me. Te aroha, te whakapono, te Rangimarie, tātou tātou e. Kia ora.
Beloved Mother, beloved Creator, Maker of the heavens and the earth. Thank you, grandmothers of the four directions. Today is your day, beloved Mother. Today is the day of the sacred seeds. Beloved Spirit of creation, may we as humans plant the seeds of love on your sacred grounds as we stand here before you, speaking to you through our prayers, whispering to you through the spirit of the wind, beloved Creator. May we come together with the seeds of peace, the seeds of love, all of the seeds of your creation, beloved Mother, the seeds for the future generations, the children, the teenagers, the middle-aged, beloved Mother, all of your creation, the trees, everything that grows on your sacred grounds, beloved Mother, all of the beings, the little ones, the winged ones, beloved Mother, all of that. And may we plant the sacred seeds of communion with all of the galactic beings, beloved Creator, because this is who we are. We're the children of the stars. May it be a blessed, blessed day with all of these in mind, beloved Creator, blessed be. Thank you.
Kia ora katoa tātou. No, Hawaii ki tautau ahau. Greetings from the pulse of our mother, New Zealand. We are one family. You have to accept me as you, whether you like it or not. We are one. We are one. And for us, the Māori, we have what we call a hongi. We press notice. Come here, brother. Because for me, we are all brothers and sisters. And we should never be separated. Never, never, never. So my brothers on my right, I'm on his left. And for us, you notice we press noses. We don't do that for nothing. So for us, when we press noses, we remember that we are one with the whole of creation. The forehead reminds us of the great trees. That is, the nose is the trunk. Our eyebrows remind us of the wingspan of the birds, our kin. Our eyebrows remind us of the tail of the whale. The nose is the body. And when we touch, we have one breath from our divine source. So we will show you how to do it. And then you do it. And you make sure you do it properly. First of all, you must make sure to touch the forehead as well as the tip of the nose so you can suss that other person out. Your turn! Get up! And do the holy! Come on! So we can move on, eh? We're one family! Ho-ho! We are one! Nothing can separate us! Yola! That's it!
Okay, let's sing something together to finish.
Okay.
What do we sing?
Yeah.
Our water song. The song that we'll take
Okay.
just the part that we know. Yeah. Okay, let's stand up and just go.
Yeah.
Sing it with us, yeah. Ready? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Kote kurana we, kote kurana wa, kote kuratu hai wa. Kote kurana we, kote kurana wa, kote kuratu hai wa. Kote kurana we, kote kurana wa, kote kuratu hai wa. Konga wai nui, konga wai roa, konga wai ahara. Konga wai nui, konga wai roa, konga wai ahara. Konga wai nui, konga wai roa, konga wai ahara. Kote manawa nui, kote manawa roa, kote manawa aloha. Kote manawa nui, kote manawa roa, kote manawa aloha. Kote manawa nui, kote manawa roa, kote manawa aloha. Ko te vetu mulele o hine moa
Please join me in Gasho for the Buddhist prayer of loving kindness. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amida.
Good morning. Namaste. My name is Vandana Sharma. I am from India and I'm an active follower of Hinduism. Today I'm going to start with the Guru Mantra, followed by Gayatri Mantra, which is one of the very powerful mantras from the Vedas. Om Namo Shri Ram Lal Prabhuji Par Brahmane Namah. Om Gan Ganpate Namah. Om Bhur Bhuvasave Tatsaviturvareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuvasave Tatsaviturvareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuvasave Tatsaviturvareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om Bhur Bhuvasave Tatsaviturvareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. Om. Thank you.
My name is Nylan McBain. I'm a representative of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I'm honored to welcome you to Salt Lake City and to my home this morning. I will be saying a traditional Mormon prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven. We have felt thy Spirit so powerfully already this morning as we have gathered as sisters and brothers, as thy children, Father, to find commonalities and to find love and to find expressions of charity and peace amongst each other. We are mindful, Father, for the connection that brings us together, our faith in a greater power to which we express our humility and our devotion and our love. We, as Christians, especially express our gratitude for thy Son, Jesus Christ, the Savior, and we are mindful of his sacrifice on our behalf. We pray that thy Spirit will continue to dwell with us as we talk about ways that we can come together to increase thy Spirit on the earth today, Inspire us to know ways that we can bring peace to our sisters and brothers around the world, and also to our sisters and brothers here beside us, in our families, in our communities. Help us to know how we can be agents of thy will. Help us to be thy hands here upon the earth. And to celebrate the divine spirit that is in each one of us. I say these things humbly, Father, in the name of thy beloved Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Sat Shri Akal, I'm Jaspreet Kaur, and I'm here to do the Sikh prayer. Born in India, raised in Salt Lake City. So if I could have everyone stand and put your hands together. I will be praying for the peace of all mankind and the success of this program and everyone coming together and joining. अरदास वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। श्री भगवती जी सहाय वार श्री भगवती जी की पातशाही 10वीं प्रथम भगवती सिमर के गुरु नानक लई त्याए फिर अंगत ते गुर अमरदास रामदास से होए सहाय अर्जुन हर गोबिंद नो सिमरो श्री हर राय श्री हर कृष्ण त्याये जिस डिठे सब दुख जाए तेग बहादुर सिमरिए कर नौ ने दावे ताए सब थाई होए सहाय 10वें पातशाही श्री गुरु गोबिंद सिंह जी साहिब सब थाई होए सहाय 10 पातशाहियां दी जोत श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी के पाठ ते दार दा ध्यान तर के बोलना जी वाहेगुरु। हे निमाणियां दे मान ने ताणियां दे तान ने ओटियां दी ओट सच्चे पिता वाहेगुरु आप जी दे आगे अरदास बेनती है जगत जलंदा रख लै अपनी किरपा तार एक पिता एकस के हम बारिक सारे धर्मां नूं आपस विच एकता बख्शाओ जी मेहर करके इस प्रोग्राम दी सफलता बख्शाओ जी सही प्यारे मेल जिन्ना मिलिया तेरा नाम चेतावे नानक नाम चढ़दी कला तेरे पाने सरबत दा भला बोले सो निहाल सत श्री अकाल वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। Thank you very much. You guys have a great event and great day, and may peace be with us. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. We express our deepest gratitude and appreciation to the divine creator of all there is. And may the divine creator of all there is bless each and every one who has joined together in cooperation, collegiality, love, and harmony, and the Council for a Parliament of the World's Religions, one of the world's largest conveners of communities of faith, for being the vehicle to bring us all together for this inaugural Women's Assembly for global advancement. Bless all of the women of the world who are the great mothers and nurturers. And I invoke the sacred mantra to the great divine mother whose creative energy gave birth to all of life while we were lovingly incubated in her great womb, and from which we all arose to create life each and every day, loving our children, loving ourselves, and loving each other. To the great Divine Mother, Saruva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sadike Sharanya Trambaka Devi Narayani Namostute. Everyone together, let's recite Om 3 times. And now we recite together 3 times. Peace. 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 May the infinite light, peace, harmony, and joy of the divine Creator be with you this day and all the days of your lives.
I am Katie Jo. I am mother. I am daughter. I am sister and I am friend. I am mother of 4. One of my sons joins me here now, unseen. I am undefeatable, as are you. In the beginning of our world, we stood as one circle and one tribe. We stretched out across the great land and great oceans to learn what we were meant to learn. We gather again as one tribe and one circle to teach and to learn what we have learned and what we have been taught. As a teen, I went to a dark cavern with a school group. The darkness was overwhelming. I could not see my hand in front of my face. I could not see my schoolmates, and I was afraid. One by one, we lit our torches. One by one, the circle began to illuminate. And the entire cave became bright. This world is our cave. Shine your light. On your mountaintop, shine your light. On my mountaintop, I will shine mine. In the valley, on the rivers, whatever path you are on, shine your light. We are one circle. We are one tribe. We are one people. We have gone and we have learned what we have meant to be learned. We are here now to share that. We are equal and we are unequal. A robe is not equal to the sky. And yet they are both unique, and they are both magnificent, and they are both one of a kind. I am one of a kind. You are one of a kind. We are magnificent in our uniqueness. Shine your light. I do not stand above you, and I do not stand below you. I do not stand in front of you, and I do not stand behind you. I stand with you, and I shine my light. I call upon the Legion of Light. I ask the speakers to rise. I ask the audience to rise. And I ask the drummers to rise. In the beginning, when we had our circle, we drummed. And the drum belongs to every culture, every nation, land. If you did not bring a drum in your hand, you brought it in your breast, because that is the only drum that matters. The drum that creates all, the drum that echoes out to universe, the drum that cries out to be heard. You brought your drum within you, and that is the only drum that matters. Let it cry out. I stand with you. Maestro, let's play. If they heard me. Breathe in, breathe out. Drummers, are you ready? All right, music man, wherever you are, let's play the song. And if he's not playing, everybody breathe. Thank you. Thank you. Will you take my drum for me?
Thank you. Thank you to our indigenous grandmothers, our sisters spanning so many faith traditions, for honoring our space and our time together as sisters in humanity. Good morning, all again. I am your MC for the morning, Janan Hashem. I am a trustee with the Parliament of the World's Religions, and I also sit on the task force under the wonderful leadership of Phyllis. Phyllis, there we go, Phyllis Curott, who has really carried this on her shoulders in more ways, in so many more ways than we can imagine. And the bubble above her head, if you cannot read it now, is Janan, get us back on schedule. I'm supposed to get you out of here by 10:30, but if there's a reason for delay, let it be because of prayer. That's a good reason. We have a packed day addressing extremely important issues for women and men alike. Humanity, as Muslims we are told, is like the human body, and when one part of it aches, the whole body feels its pain. Sisters, it's time to heal this body of humanity. We are eager to get started, and it brings me great pleasure in introducing our first of a series of intellectual speakers this morning, Alaina Buffalo Spirit. Are you up on the stage, Alaina? All right, wonderful. It gives me great pleasure to introduce her. She's a self-taught artist from the Sotati Band of the Northern Cheyenne Nation, whose work honors the women who have made a difference in her life. Her artwork is based on the traditional ledger art originated by Indian warriors who were incarcerated in the 1800s. Please join me in welcoming Alaina Buffalo Spirit.
Good morning. It's in the before and then it's in the shiver. A ton of hurt, no what's the name of I come from the Northern Cheyenne Nation, the Sota branch. My grandparents, Annie and Willis Medicine Bowl, were ceremonial people. My father and mother, Ellen and Bert Medicine Bowl, followed in their tradition. Now me and my brothers and sisters, we are following, and now our grandchildren. In December, I will be a great-grandmother, welcoming my first great-grandbaby. I want to say that one of our elders said, we are all indigenous to the earth, all of us. I come from a country where we are fighting against a railroad that will run right across my land, and the biggest coal strip mine. I speak up for my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. One day when my grandchildren say, Grandma, what did you do? My great-granddaughter that's coming will ask me, Grandma, great-grandma, what did you do? Just help save the earth, the water, the air. What did you do? I will be able to say, this is what I did. I spoke up for you. I want you to live in a beautiful earth. I want you to enjoy the good, clean water that we now enjoy in southeastern Montana, Cheyenne country. And in honor of my grandchildren and all the children that we love so dearly, our grandchildren, I'm going to honor them with a beautiful song that I composed in a ceremony. Join me with your good, kind thoughts as we think about our children and their future generations, 7 generations to come. It's an honor to be here, to be invited, to be with all you beautiful people. This morning our heavenly Maheo, bless our children, Heyanayo, Maheo, Yanamana Heyanayo, Maheo, Yanawana Heyanayo, Maheo, Heyana Heneo, Yanawana Heyanayo, Maheo, Yanawana Heyanayo, Maheo, Yanawana Heyanayo, Maheo, Yanawana Heyanayo, Maheo, Heyana Heneo, Nanisneo na mehoto Maheo, Yanawana Heyanayo, Maheo, Yanawana Heyanayo, Maheo, Yanawana Heyanayo, Maheo, Heyana Heneo, Yanawana Heyanayo, Maheo, Yanawana Heyanayo, Maheo, Yanawana Heyanayo, Maheo, Yanawana Heyanayo, Maheo, Heyana Heneo. May our Creator bless our earth so we can live in peace for our children. Thank you.
Brings me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker. I call her sister because she's sister in faith as well as in humanity, Sister Ilyasah Shabazz. She may be the daughter of Malcolm X, but she has definitely paved her own path as a community organizer, a social activist, motivational speaker, and author of the critically acclaimed Growing Up X. Ilyasah promotes higher education, interfaith dialogue, and building bridges between cultures for young leaders of the world. Please welcome.
Thank you very much to this absolutely esteemed panel. God bless you. God bless each and every one of you, especially to the indigenous people of this land. My name is Ilyasah Shabazz. I am the daughter of Dr. Betty Shabazz. I am a granddaughter of Ollie Mae Saunders and Louise Norton Little. I am also a very proud professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. I think it's very important to teach our children to take responsibility for their lives, to understand their purpose and their power, and to right the wrongs of our society. Thank you.
Mallika Chopra, the daughter of Deepak Chopra, and she'll tell you her lineage on the mother's side. She herself is a mom, a media entrepreneur, public speaker, and published author, bringing us her most recent book published this year titled Living with Intent, My Somewhat Messy Journey to Purpose, Peace, and Joy. Please join me in welcoming Mallika Chopra.
My name is Mallika. My mother is Rita. My grandmothers are Pushpa and Shakuntala, and I am the mother of 2 daughters, Tara and Leela. So I just decided while sitting here, inspired by all the grandmothers who came and spoke, that I would quickly tell a story of my grandmother, my father's mother. And this is who shaped him and who shaped our whole family. So my grandmother was a believer in setting intentions, in stating what you want, and then believing that that would happen. We have a famous family story of when my grandparents had moved right after Indian independence to a city in India called Lucknow. And it was the first time that the new Prime Minister of a free India, Nehru, was coming to Lucknow to visit. So my grandfather was a well-known doctor, definitely shaped who my father ultimately became. But my grandmother had decided that she wanted to meet Nehru. My grandfather made fun of my grandmother, thinking, why would the Prime Minister ever come and talk to you? My father, who was about 12, and my uncle, who was about 10, laughed at my grandmother. But she knew that she would meet the Prime Minister. So she spent weeks deciding what color sari to wear. Should it be pink or red? Should she wear heels? Should she wear flat shoes? Should she put her hair up or keep it down? And throughout my family, my uncles and my grandfather kind of taunted and teased her. So the day came when Nehru came to Lucknow, and my grandfather and my uncle and my dad went at 4 a.m. to get a line, to get on the side of the street. And my grandmother took her time to get ready. And she kind of royally arrived, probably around 10, 11 o'clock, when the car was coming with the Prime Minister. And again, everyone kind of taunted her and made fun of her, but she wore this brilliant pink sari with her hair up, beautiful jewelry. And Nehru came driving in his car down the street. There were millions of people on the street. And when we talk about millions of people in India, we actually talk about millions of people in India. Just kind of a mass of humanity. So Nehru's car drove up. My grandmother, of course, was at the front of the crowd. And his car drove past where they were all standing. They drove past, but suddenly the car stopped. Nehru got out of the car, dressed in his white Nehru suit, with a rose in his pocket. He walked backwards and came to my grandmother, took the rose from his lapel, and handed it to her. So my grandmother looked at my grandfather and winked. And then she held that rose high up in the air, and millions of people cheered. And that rose represented hope for India and represented the belief that we can create what we want. So with that, I'd like to honor my grandmother and all the grandmothers behind us. Thank you.
What a powerful, powerful story. My husband has asked me 3 times before I said yes to marry him. I think I was in my pajamas. It was over the phone, too. And I met him in a parking lot. I mean, like, really? Your family story is so much better than what my grandchildren are going to say about me. Oh, well, we try to set a good example. Our next speaker is Diana Butler Bass. She is the author of 9 books on American religion, and she holds a PhD in religious studies from Duke University and has taught at the college and graduate level and is currently an independent scholar. She was a columnist for the New York Times Syndicate and blogs for the Huffington Post and the Washington Post on issues of religion, spirituality, and culture. Please join me in welcoming Diana Butler Bass.
Thank you so much. I am Diana, the daughter of Marcia, a woman who left her family home to find her own way, her own life in a new place. I am the granddaughter of Lillian, who was kicked out of the Roman Catholic Church when she became pregnant out of wedlock and had to find her own spiritual path. The granddaughter also of Elsie, who was kicked out of the United Methodist Church when she got baptized by the Holy Spirit in a Pentecostal revival and was ordained to the ministry by Amy Semple McPherson. It might not surprise you to know that I am the mother of Emma, an incredibly rebellious 17-year-old girl. And that's the story I want to share today, the story of women as spiritual revolutionaries. In the Starbucks in my neighborhood outside of Washington, D.C., there is a new young barista, a wonderful young woman. She's about 22 years old. I have enjoyed her company. Her name is Ilyasah. She showed up about, 3 or 4 months ago, and I couldn't help but notice her because she was wearing a black veil. Over these months, we've talked some about religion and faith. She loves her job. She does it with kindness. She is an amazing witness to her Muslim beliefs. The other day, I went into that same Starbucks, and she wasn't wearing her black veil. Instead, she was wearing a green striped veil with sparkles and fringe all over it. And I looked at her and I said, "I love your scarf. It's so beautiful." She got a huge smile on her face, and she said to me, "They told me I had to wear black." But I didn't think that was right. So I looked it up for myself. She smiled and she said, "I knew I was right." It was a holy moment. A moment of wisdom and power. The authorities who told her that she was only supposed to wear black, at first I thought it might have been her parents or perhaps an imam, but it wasn't. It was Starbucks. The authorities that held power over her were economic. They were the ones in control of her job. But she couldn't do her job and feel like the person she really was. And she couldn't do her job and express her faith as she felt was appropriate. So she went and she looked it up for herself, and she discovered a pathway around the rules. A pathway that she could wear a different scarf, expressing her own beauty, her own power, and of course, taking up her place in this economic system, not at its thrall, but rather as a participant in making an economic community. This moment in Starbucks was a picture to me of a global revolution. A small moment in something that is happening all over the world. One where women are taking up the power ourselves, to work around rules and authorities that have kept us from being fully human. History changes when women recognize that some authority or some interpretation of our religion or some rule has limited our beauty, has undermined our identity, and taken away our own power to practice our faith in a meaningful fashion that expresses the truest heart of our spirituality. When we decide to look it up for ourselves, to search out the laws, the doctrines, the rituals, and the sacred texts that lead us in a way of truth, to encounter God for ourselves, to embrace that which offers and affirms the unique loveliness, the gifts and creativity of all of us, those of us here who represent half of the human race. This is the spiritual power of women. Not a quiet prayer of acceptance or support in the way that things are, but the intelligence and the passion to see a more beautiful way and to search out our traditions anew in a quest to find new paths of wholeness for the world, for the earth, and for our neighbor. It is my great pleasure to stand before you in a line of rebellious and revolutionary women. Because each of us in our own way are spiritual revolutionaries, discovering that God or the goddess or the gods are near to us, all of us walking right here with us in this sacred world where nature sparkles with grace and where our neighbors' faces shine with the divine. Welcome to the revolution.
Fellow rebels, fellow revolutionaries. Our next distinguished speaker is Dr. Rangimarie Turuki Rose Pere. She's a Tuhuna, sower of the sacred seeds of knowledge, keeper of the secrets. As a traditional Maori elder and leader who upholds the spirit of oneness, of everything in creation, she sees the whole of humanity as one family who lives in the four directions. As a healer for peace, she embraces all cultures and respects their religious beliefs. Through her ancient ancestry from peacekeepers, her religious beliefs are based on, and forgive me for mispronouncing this if I do so, aroha, the presence and the breath of the divine source, unconditional love, Eo, peace, Koa, joy, and Pono, truth. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Rose Pere.
Good. Can you hear me from the back? Good. I can't stand this. Okay. I need to use the mic. Really? Okay. All I feel right now is love. It's love for you because you are me and I am you. We cannot be separated. We are one. I come from Hawaii Toto. Most of you would know it as New Zealand. I come from the ancient people, ngā Pōtiki, ngā uri a Maui. And I'm descended from peacekeepers. It's interesting, we come down from Hawaii, which was the largest continent in the world over 12,000 years ago, until there was a breakdown of gas chambers and most of Hawaii went underwater. Well, I'm descended from those ancient people. And I have come here to just honor the whole of the family that we have right across the world. And when I say family, it is not only people that I'm talking about, but all of Earth Mother's progeny, all. We cannot separate ourselves off from our mother, Earth. We cannot separate ourselves away from the rest of her progeny because they are, that was why I told you about the hongi that the Māori does, to remind us that we are one with everything that exists. For me, Papatūnuku Earth Mother is the standing place of the Rainbow Bridge, so that all colours give life to our mother. So for me, I am here to honour the invitation that I received to come to this gathering. And I'm so glad I have come, because I can feel your energy and I can feel, you know, I come in from the future. That is what we say in New Zealand. We're the first to see the light. You pick it up 24 hours later. So just remember that. So for me, no. We are one family, and in my culture, we refer to the whole of humanity as Ngāti Rā. We are the living breath of the central sun, and we cannot be separated. None of us. One of the worst enemies that we have is separation and division. For me, and in my tradition, we cannot separate the genders and we cannot separate the generations. In my household, we have 4 generations living together. For me, I had to bring my brother with me because that is how we are. For us, here, Jimmy, he is my grandfather, he is my father, he is my brother, he is my son. We cannot be separated. I am his grandmother, I am his mother, I am his sister, and I am his daughter. That is how we think. That is how we link in together. We cannot be separated. So that is why he is with me. For me, we are one, all of us. We are all brothers and sisters. We cannot be separated. So I'm your sister whether you like it or not. So all I know is love. Someone asked me what my religion is. What is that? Because for me, all I know is aroha, which is the presence and the breath of our divine source, love, unconditional love. I was told I only had 5 minutes. I'm looking at the time, it's late, and I hate working overtime, all right? So, I will share a song with you to show you just how much we love you, those of us who have come over from the pulse of our Earth Mother, New Zealand as you know it. Ka pine ako e ahaki te pine o te aroha ki te pine kore nei e waikura e. I pin you with the pin of love that does not perish with time. We're also going to do a posture dance, all right? Because that's the way we are. And this posture dance is about our mother and the far-flung heavens being celebrated every day, because nothing but nothing is going to stop us from being one and celebrating together. Okay, so now, I'm just giving it to him. He's lucky.
Ringa pakia!
Pakia yakino ekino le hoke.
Kamate, kamate, kora, kamate, kamate, kora, tenne te tangata.
Neno itiki mai waka fiti.
Ahupan! Ahupan! Ahupan e kumpane fiti jera! Hiya!
Thank you for the warm welcome from the people of this land, lighting the fires for us to come. Kia ora.
You can't beat love. Amazing. Our next distinguished speaker is Dr. Shinoda Bolen. She is a psychiatrist, Jungian analyst, author, and activist. She joins us as a distinguished life fellow of the American Psychiatric Association and a former clinical professor at University of not Chicago, I'm from Chicago, sorry. It's just like autopilot, right? University of California, San Francisco, an equally established institution. She is the author of numerous books, including The Tao of Psychology and The Goddesses in Every Woman and Gods in Every Man. Please, let's welcome together, everyone, Dr. Shinoda Bolen.
Wow. And how wonderful it is to see all the seats filled with you. The Million Circle women came in last night and put the card that says a Million Circle on most of your chairs. And the empty chairs in an empty auditorium are so different from you sitting there, you with your energy, you with your heart. I am so impressed with the sense of heartfulness that is the energy, not only in this room, but in the energy that has gone into planning this. I, like most of you, come from my own unique background, and yet we share something really in common. At some level, we are heart-connected. At some deep level, we are in touch with the soul, the authentic part of our being that came for this short span called life, to make a difference, to love, to learn, to become, if we could, who we were meant to be. Now that's my work as a Jungian analyst. I stand here having been asked to say something about my mother line. My mother, Megami Yamaguchi Shinoda. I hesitated with some sense of inadequacy that I could only remember my grandmothers on both sides as Obasan Shinoda, Obasan Yamaguchi. My mother graduated from medical school, Columbia University, in 1928. She became a physician. She was the first intern at Los Angeles County General Hospital of Japanese ancestry. Obviously, to do that, she came from the east to the west, married my father, had me and my brother, and then World War II broke out, and we were Japs. Very much like those of you who have Arabic, Muslim backgrounds and find yourself in the United States or in other parts of the world, where there is a sense that we are other. In fact, many of you in this room probably have grown into who you are, because from the time you were very little, you probably followed your own drummer. If you didn't from the time you were little, you broke form somewhere along the line with what was traditional to become who you are. And as soon as you grow into that, you are somewhat apart. You're more, at times, an observer. You can't quite just merge, except at a higher or deeper level. That's when we call in and connect with ancestors, angels, archetypes, call it what you may. How it was that I became an activist has something to do with finding myself in kindergarten with parents that spoke out against the relocation of the Japanese Americans and the unwillingness to go into what was called relocation camps, but we called concentration camps. My father got us in some way, probably out of a series of relationship connections, the papers to get us out of the state of California, where once we went east, we were free American citizens. Both of my parents were born in the United States of America. Once I left the state, I went to something like 6 or 7 different elementary schools in Blackfoot, Idaho, in Denver, in Grand Junction, Colorado, in the east, in Queens, in Long Island. And everywhere I went, I was a new kid. There is something about doing that. And all of you who have, as children, been the equivalent of, well, some of us, I haven't realized until I went to the United Nations that I was actually a displaced person within my own country. Now there are refugees from all over the world moving across the continents, trying to find home. And everywhere they go, they are displaced from home. Now, most of us also have a sense of being displaced from some spiritual place called home that we connect with through our rituals, our prayers, our reflections, our inner connections, our vocation to be who we are. The idea of women changing the world is a very real possibility. In fact, we are the solution. If we could see the beauty and strength and capacity in ourselves. At Beijing in 1995, Hillary Clinton said the ringing words, "Women's rights are human rights. Human rights are women's rights." And it's true. And it did inspire a huge number of women to go out and make a difference. What I have learned is it's truly important to be mirrored back and supported, to be able to tell the truth of your own life, and have sisters realize how brave you were to do that you were not a victim because you have survived. You have strength, you have beauty, you have made a difference with your nurturing. There are so many ways to be strong, and most of them are defined by men as qualities that have to do actually with the kind of qualities that lead to war. But women have a different kind of strength, and if we meet in circles with a spiritual center, what women have done forever, what Girl Scouts did around the campfire, there is a looking across that image, the fire in the center of a round circle in which everyone is equidistant from that source. I think of women's circles with a spiritual center as tapping in, like women around a well. Women have always sat around wells as well. If you tap down, if you hold a circle with an intention of this being a spiritual place, a sacred place to tell the truth, to connect at the heart level, to tell the truth of your life, and you do, and instead of being shunned because that happened to you, you were raped, you were incested, you were driven out of your country, you have been homeless, and instead of being looked down upon, to see across the circle in the faces of your sisters an appreciation for what you went through and how courageous you are. Back to heart again. The word courage comes from the word kor, meaning heart. Heartfulness. Heartfulness is what can change the world. The heartfulness of compassion, of understanding that, for example, we who are so privileged have so much to be grateful for. Well, to be grateful for something is to be responsible for that gift, whatever it was, for that education, to really make a difference for those who are less privileged than you, is my belief. And then when you do it, you find yourself growing. You find yourself helped by some invisible source called spirituality or God or goddess or Tao or all that is. Whatever it is, spirituality unites us. Religions divide us. I went to the UN and was informed, appalled, and inspired by the women from all over the world who were making a difference where they were. And I wanted to give back by being able to reflect back from my position as a Jungian analyst, as a whoever I am, the ability to put into words some things. And I saw how each of them had picked up their assignment. And I defined assignment as something that only comes from inside. If you have an assignment, and most of us have had many assignments in our lifetimes, but the assignment, when it is defined by you and not has been given to you by someone in authority, then it's only you who can answer three questions. One, is it meaningful to you? And let me tell you, the most meaningful things you can do come from your family and your religions, and the pain that you learned through living your life, and the meaningfulness is to help, to have compassion, and to know that this particular part of the world that needs to be helped is something I know about directly, and that's why I want to step up to make a difference. The second criteria is, will it be fun? Sometimes I say my hobby is changing the world, and actually I do kind of mean it. But the fun has to do with being in circle, of having women with you doing what you are doing. The fun is sharing the values, going in the same direction. The fun is if you're going to have to cry that you have company, but mostly when you can laugh and feel good about each woman's own journey and what triumphs she just had because we know her well. And to support her with prayer, to support her with silent meditation. And the last of my definitions of assignment is that it's motivated by love. That's what moves us more. Love is the only energy that the more you give away, the more you have. So imagine what this room can generate. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bolen. Next up, we have Ruth Messenger. She is president of American Jewish World Service, the world's leading Jewish organization working to end poverty and realize human rights in the developing world. She currently sits on the U.S. State Department's Religion and Foreign Policy Working Group and co-chairs the sub-working group on social justice. Let's go ahead and welcome Ruth Messenger.
Shalom, salam, peace. I am Ruth, daughter of Marjorie, granddaughter of Edith and Fan, the mother of 3 wonderful children, including my daughter Miriam. I'm the grandmother of 8, 5 of them girls. The oldest one, Juliana Serena, is here. Juliana lives in Salt Lake, is the mother of my 2 great-grandsons, and more importantly, is a ritualist and ceremonialist who works to promote the emotional, physical, and spiritual health of women. Yesterday, she spent time fixing up the red tent here, which I commend to you in room 252A. I am the president of American Jewish World Service, an organization that is motivated by Jewish values, that works to realize human rights and end poverty in the developing world. We partner with strong local and indigenous grassroots organizations that are pursuing their own visions of justice. Not surprisingly to all of you, a significant majority of these organizations have been founded, are led, and work on behalf of the rights of women and girls. Because women are disproportionate victims of some of the world's most serious and pervasive problems. Too often and in too many places, women are denied the right to stay in school, to pursue employment, to make decisions about relationships, marriage, sexuality, and health. They may farm the land, but they are denied the right to own it. Too often they are second-class citizens facing rampant discrimination and oppression, often victims of sexual violence and of abject poverty. The statistics are grim, although we will not dwell on those. But women constitute 70% of the extreme poor in the world. An estimated 1 in 3 women will be beaten, coerced into sex, or otherwise abused in her lifetime. And every year, 14 million girls under the age of 18 enter into early and forced marriages. Sadly, in some instances, we know that the sources of this discrimination and oppression lie in interpretations of religious text and in the continuation in each of our faiths and in each of our countries of religious, national, and cultural practices that promote inequality. And yet, At the same time, it is often the women who step forward to challenge the way things are, the women who organize and mobilize to promote change, to pursue their own visions of justice, to help build peace. In even the worst circumstances, women are fighting for their rights. Two brief examples. The women in Liberia, led by Lema Bowie, she formed a coalition of Muslim and Christian women who organized to protest the ongoing civil war, who staged demonstrations, including a sex strike, to end that war, and who then continued to work for peace, for an expansion of women's rights, and last year, for a collaborative, successful local public education campaign to stop the spread of the deadly Ebola virus. The women in Senegal, making peace in the Casamance, a region torn by decades of strife, stepping forward to work with each other and to demand that the government and the guerrilla forces end the fighting. When asked why they did this against great odds and at some risk to themselves, their answer was simple: we are the mothers of both sides. These are among the hundreds of groups, thank you, that we support to make a difference for their future. Allow me one very brief story from my tradition. The students were studying all night with the rabbi, and he asked them, how do you know when the night turns into the day? Is it perhaps, they said, when an animal is approaching and we can tell whether it is a wolf or a sheep? No, he said. Maybe, they said, it is when there's a tree in the distance, but we can see clearly enough to know whether it is a fig tree or a peach tree. No, he said. Tell us, they said, how can we tell when the night turns into the day? And their teacher said, it is only when we see that any approaching person, man, woman, or child, is our brother or our sister. Otherwise, it is night for all of us. I am moved by this teaching of my faith, shared by many of you in your own faith, that there is an inherent dignity to each and every person, that all people, all women, are of equal value. We are all responsible for each other. And when even one woman suffers, regardless of her religion, whether she lives 1 mile or thousands of miles from us, our collective well-being takes a hit. That is why women worldwide, led by women of faith, must raise our hands toward heaven and our fists to demand justice. Women of faith do not have the luxury or the convenience of being overwhelmed or hoping for a solution in the far future. We have an obligation to join hands here and now with the poorest and most oppressed women in the world who are making change on the front lines. They are already holding up more than half the sky, but justice and dignity still elude their grasp. We must demand with them what is rightfully theirs and ours: equality, human rights, and dignity, all of which flow from the divine. Women of faith must hold up all women. Thank you.
Women of faith must uphold all women. Beautiful words. Are you tweeting that? Yeah. Give me a second. I want to tweet that. Up next, we have Phyllis Curott. She is a fellow attorney with me on the board. You should see us at our board meetings. Two of us get together on an issue. There's no stopping us against a sea of men on the board. Yeah, it's true. We're here, aren't we? She is an author, the vice chair of the Parliament, and chairwoman of the Women's Task Force of the Parliament that brought this to you. As one of the world's first public Wiccan priestesses, Phyllis was honored by Jane magazine as one of the 10 gutsiest women of the year, and she still is. She was also named by New York Magazine as one of the culture's most intellectually cutting-edge thinkers, which she still is. Please join me in welcoming Phyllis. Phyllis, if she just says 2 words, it's only to get us back on track with our time, but I hope you give us more than 2 words.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for making my dream come true. And thank you, all of you. And all of those of you out here who made this happen, thank you for filling this holy grail with wisdom and with love. I had to write my talk to you because I knew that my heart would be so overwhelmed I wouldn't be able to speak from it. But I assure you, when I wrote this, it came from my heart. So my name is Phyllis Curott. I'm the daughter of Adele, granddaughter of Anne, great-granddaughter of Fanny, and I realized the spiritual granddaughter of Sojourner Truth, who once said, "Am I not also human?" We have come from around the world and virtually every faith, more than 3,000 women and men. This convening of the inaugural Women's Assembly at the Parliament of the World's Religions, which is the oldest and largest interfaith event in the world, is historic in size, in intent, in its global composition, and its religious diversity. It is also historic because the three taboo subjects of public conversation and polite conversation, sex, religion, and politics, are also converging here in Salt Lake City. Never before has the world seen this kind of focus on women and religion. Faith leaders and practitioners from 50 religions and 80 countries are listening to women's voices at the first parliament to take place in the United States in the last 20 years. More than 60% of registrants are women, and for the first time, 50% of panelists and plenary presenters will be women. Alongside female leaders from the global stage, thanks to scholarship support, a lot of which came from small donations from you, there will be women's voices that are rarely heard. Dalit feminists, African environmentalists, women Israeli and Palestinian peace activists, indigenous grandmothers, Jewish grandmothers, Wiccan priestesses, green nuns, Maori womanists, and Mormon feminists from Salt Lake City, and of course, the Shiros. We are gathering to heal the heart of humanity with a gorgeous diversity of women's wisdom and inspiration, but healing also requires the courage to address the forbidden third rail of religion, the dignity and equal rights of women. What would never be defensible in civil society is considered hands-off when it comes to religion. For thousands of years, the idea of male superiority has perpetuated violations of women's essential dignity and safety. It is an archaic view that too many religious leaders and institutions continue to this day. The consequence for women is not just soul-damaging discrimination, it can also be deadly. As Ruth has already said, too often, abuse is justified by misinterpreted or selectively edited scriptures, texts, and teachings, and women and girls suffer, often in silence. They suffer the most brutal and pervasive injustices in our world today. 1 in 3 has been raped, beaten, or violently assaulted. In the United States, the number is a dismal 1 in 4. 700 million women were little girls when they were married, and upwards of 140 million women have suffered some form of female genital mutilation. For thousands of years, religions have imposed constraints on women's basic freedoms to be safe and healthy and live free of fear, to control their own bodies, to move about freely, to own property, to inherit property, to choose to marry or not, to obtain a divorce, to retain custody of their children, to have their testimony given equal weight in court, to receive an education, or to simply work. Yes, public opinion is moving in the right direction. But the door to formal leadership remains closed in many traditions, and injustice remains dictated by men who claim faith. Women are systematically excluded from decision-making that influences and determines the quality of their lives. In the U.S. and other nations where advances towards equality have been made, religious texts continue to be misused to instruct women to submit to secondary status in their marriages, in their occupations, and in the eyes of their God. Women are prime ministers and presidents, and a woman may be about to break the glass ceiling in the White House. But there remains a stained glass ceiling that excludes the values and wisdom, the compassion and courage, the spiritual determination and calling of half the human race. Change comes slowly, but great change breaks upon us suddenly, like a drenching rain that makes the deserts bloom. These are the waters of life. These are the blessings of women's ways that flow into the world when we are free. We have far more knowledge today than our ancestors, and with knowledge must come self-awareness and maturity and the responsibility to change. In 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, binding on all member states of the United Nations, called for the equal rights of men and women. In one form or another, the universal teaching of all the world's religions, principles of compassion and empathy, of treating others the way one wishes to be treated, with justice, with respect, with kindness, and with love. All of these reflect the innate desire of all human beings. The dignity, the safety, and the equality of women is the global human rights struggle of our time. The world's religions can no longer contribute to or allow the denigration of half of humanity. To do so is to break faith. Women and men of faith and spirit, we are gathered in Salt Lake City to confer on the great challenges of our era, to share our sources of inspiration and hope. As we speak together, I urge you to listen to the voices of your sisters. It is time to fix this broken moral compass. It is time for the world's religions to stop the deprivation and violence against women and girls, to stop harmful teachings and practices that justify discrimination and abuse, and to ensure that women are fully involved in decision-making that affects their lives within their religious institutions. It is time for the world's religions to fulfill the messages of dignity and equality that the world's faiths claim. Religious leaders have played critical roles in the social justice issues of their times. Today, there is no greater issue, and it is past time for faith leaders to make it their moral responsibility to ensure that women who risk being ostracized or abused or killed if they speak up or act to challenge will not be alone. I'm here with you today walking the third rail because I know the urgent and deadly crises of today's world cannot be solved without the contribution of half of humanity. The way in which we treat the earth is exactly the way we treat women. And how we treat women will be the way in which we treat the earth. The mother we all share, no matter our religion, teaches us that humankind is interconnected and interdependent, a family. And it is impossible to achieve the healthy, sustainable, just, and peaceful world that we all want, that our very survival depends upon, without the full and free participation of women. Indeed, all over the world, we see that when women are uplifted, their children benefit, their communities thrive, stability follows, peace is more secure, the heart of humanity heals. Religions fulfill their promise and their responsibility to all of us, and the future opens to the promise and the possibilities of rebirth. Thank you all for filling this Holy Grail with me.
Phyllis called upon the world's religions to be a part of the change. This is the most suitable place to call upon the religions to do that. If you'd like to get a summary of what Phyllis had shared with you today, Time magazine printed an article that she wrote for it, an op-ed piece. It's there for you. And I'd like to acknowledge our communications director, Mallika, who's the one who got it to Time magazine and on their radar screen to acknowledge these issues. There we go. Molly has worked in numerous hours, has not had any sleep, and she is holding this huge thing of some kind of caffeine in it, and still smiling. Molly, thank you so much on behalf of all of these women for everything you have done for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I just want to say thank you for giving me hope. Tweet from your heart, faith in women.
Our final speaker, Mother Maya Tiwari. She serves humanity by awakening the spirit of harmony in every person whose life she touches. She is an Ayurveda pioneer working in the field for more than 30 years. She established the first Ayurvedic school in North America in 1981. She is also founder of the Mother on Mission, a charitable organization in at-risk communities in New York that transforms disease and despair into wellness and joy. She has personally helped thousands of women to heal from devastating disorders. Let's welcome our final speaker for the morning, Mother Maya.
Namaste. Let's chant and sanctify this audience and bring up the absolute power of the women. Bija sung for Saraswati, goddess of knowledge. Goddess of prosperity, abundance, that which women bring to the earth. Children of Mother Earth, we all are. My name is Maya Tiwari. My mother is Kalyani Karpen from South India. My grandmother, Maharani, from North India. My great-grandparents, mothers in particular, were carted like bales of cotton across many oceans from India to what was then British Guyana. In fact, Many generations of my elder women were torn with the memories that haunted them, the memories of violence, of being uprooted, and of being mistreated. But the most amazing thing happened. We were carted off to the Amazon rainforest, to a land where the Atlantic Ocean thrived, and we had less than 1 million people. The Amerindians were the native of that land, the keepers, the mothers of incredible sentiency. And I do believe that there is a reason for every movement and flow in our lives, whatever it may be. I had gone through the passages of ovarian cancer at a very young age. I had seen my elders weep. And I understood from very young on that there is an ancient memory within each of us. And I was privileged to have had that memory stir at the bottom of the rainforest where there is still prehistoric species that thrive and live in peace. I was privileged to know and to learn through the incredible lessons of Mother Earth herself. I came to New York at 16. The very year I came, I ended up in Woodstock. There I was trying to run from my roots as fast as I could. And much to my amazing chagrin was Swami Satchitananda in an orange glow. And I realized we can have a Vidal Sassoon haircut and kasharal clothing amidst the smoke and the haze and the naked people. However, we cannot run from our roots. And so, years later, I ran into a group of people who had gone with me to Woodstock. They had no memory of it. My life has been a cherished one, and I am so grateful to Mother Earth for it. All of our lives are cherished. And I am just here to remember what it is I think we can together in harmony remember, and that is Mother, Mother, Mother. We are Mother Earth. We are her children. Our native grandmothers have cared for this land all over the world. We are all native. There is no one of us exempt from nativity. We are part of the grand, incredible schema that is Mother Earth, and we must reclaim her because we have no choice. But she has given us a juncture of time so powerful today, so powerful in our time, that we are becoming consciousness by the mere force of the Shakti of our mother. We cannot just weep about the damages and the destruction and the absolute unfairness and injustice of it all, because basically that is in the past now. We are in the now, we are in the present of the Shakti of every womb, every woman. And let us not ever forget again that peace is a feminine principle. Nurturance and nourishment comes from the Shakti itself, the Shakti which each one of us as women has in our womb, whether we have a womb or not. And it is in the womb of Mother Earth, and we are her children, and we are her mother as well. And we will reclaim the nobility of suffering again as women because we are so giant in the schema of the Shakti that we can afford to imbibe and carry and support the pain of Mother Earth, because that is what we are all doing. But we need to give it back its nobility. It is not just the victimization that we had become. It is not just the forged right and the fear powers of the Shakti and the woman that has become so denigrated that we are constantly crying about and suffering from. No, we are sharing the pain of our great mother, and we are there to carry it with our noble, absolutely noble love and care and kindness, each one of us. I am not greater than you. I have been seasoned through many channels of the gift of pain and suffering, and I have grown into my own strength finally to be here with you, so thank you. Thank you all for this. In North Carolina, where I opened the first school in North America for Ayurveda education, when I first went to the community, there were these people in orange strung along the road, and I thought, oh my God, there must be many monasteries here. They were cleaning the roads, they were actually prisoners. I am constantly reminded, have you noticed, of my incredible tradition. I wanted to be a rock and roll star. In fact, I am cutting an album called the Shakti Anthem very soon. And we hope to have Mr. Gilmore and our wonderful friend Tina Turner come and jibe with me. But nonetheless, I realized why they called us inmates in the ashrams of India. North Carolina was a great lesson for me. It is Cherokee land up there in western North Carolina where I lived in the forest. And when I first moved there, the cows next door, there were a dairy farm, had a disease in their eyes, and the farmer, who is Irish, said that they couldn't really solve the problem. They had been suffering from the flies attacking their eyes. And I asked him if he would mind my speaking to the cows in the early morning. I didn't want to use the word chant because it is Bible Belt, God's country out there. So basically, I wanted very much to fit in. I drove in a 1962 refurbished Chevy Impala. The only thing it did not have was a Confederate flag on it. So I began to chant with the cows. And I did the Rudram for them every morning. Om Namaste Astu Bhagavan Vishweshwaraya Mahadevaya Triambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikalagnikalaya. And then I ommed with them. And every time I ommed, they ommed back. And I realized, like so much else in our culture, they were oming, not mooing. We had it backwards. Let us take a moment, each one of us, and whatever hurt or angst or dark is there that we are keeping like precious jewels within us, let us, in this incredible moment offered by the World Assembly of Women, for which Phyllis Curott has been such a giant, and her amazing volunteer champions really with her, to have pulled this all together for us. Let us go to that space and take it and give it back to Mother Earth and say, Mother, I can't bear this. Please help me with it. Let me forever remember my devotion to you, you who have given this great universe its sentiency and its consciousness. Let us never again forget that this is our moment with Mother, and that Mother rules supreme. And let us not, women, fight for equal rights when we have superior rights of passage to the moon, to the womb of the Mother in this earth, which each one of us share and carry. And let us nourish and nurture back our children, or our men, or animals, or forest, river, sky, because basically that is our primordial function and the rites of passage to which each one of us belong. And today is a momentous day for remembering. It happens to be the 9 nights of celebrating Devi, Mother Universe, Mother Divine, Mother Shakti. We are her children. Om Sharanagata Dinarta Paritrana Parayane Sarvasyarthi Hare Devi Narayani Namostute. Hail Mother, Mother, our devotion to Mother. Thank you. Om.
We have heard wonderful, wonderful messages. And for those of you sitting in the front, you can't see what I see in the back, which is just a bunch of heads. This is a packed room of 3,000 people. That's amazing. Before I wrap things up, I want to share, just spare with me less than 5 minutes, something I'd like to share with you. I'm seeing all these different cultures and all these different ethnicities and everything, and I'm reminded of a verse from the Quran. I'll give you a little context. There was a gathering of people, and Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, heard a person say a racial slur. I said, "Who said that?" Kind of calling out that person. And a man stood up and he said, "Ya Rasulullah," he said, "Oh, Prophet of, or Messenger of God, it was I." And the Prophet said to him, "Look around you and tell me what color skins you see. What do you see?" And he said, "I see white, and I see yellow, I see brown, and I see black." And then this verse was revealed to the Prophet, one which many of you might be familiar with. "We have created you from a single pair of a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes so that you may know one another. And verily, the most honored of you in the sight of God is the one who is the most righteous of you. And God is all-knowing, all-aware." 3,000 people here, 3,000 new friends I have, so I can get to know your nations and your tribes. Thank you for coming and being a part of this and making it the success it is. We will enjoy not a 15-minute, but a 10-minute break. We'll go out to our breakout sessions. After that, we will have lunch. There will be langar served. Thank you to the Sikh community, so generous in langar. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Please come back here by around 12:45, before 1 o'clock, when I will hand the microphone and the podium over to my fellow trustee, highly regarded Crystal McCormick, who's going to take over emceeing in the afternoon. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you at 1 o'clock.